everybody. How you doing this morning? As you can tell, apparently Nightbot, for some strange reason, is on strike. I can't get him to work, and he's the one that usually shills for me, and you guys can interact with him in the chat, which doesn't make me happy in the least. And this is a Thursday, not a Monday, so I'm not expecting this many glitches, but apparently it likes to glitch this morning. So, hey, everybody. And once again, as you can see, no waiting room because once again it was glitchy, not responding, and being a total dickhead. So there's that too. And Nightbot still isn't paying attention. So I guess we don't have a Nightbot to shill. Dang it. So before we start the show, the tip jar is in the description box underneath the live stream this morning. As is my website link, and you can also super chat me. However, I don't get the super chat unless I hit $100, and they don't cut me a check until the 24th, I think, or 27th, some junk like that. Those options. Yesterday's newscast did pretty well. The audio is kind of loud. All right, hang on. Okay, how about now? All right, so we've got those problems going on. Peter is being oh, there he is. Good morning, Nightbot. Thank you for finally showing up. You're a little late, but at least you showed up. So the YouTube stuff is still floating around. There are lots of people out there that are doing videos. I know, right, Tail? There are plenty of people still doing videos trying to explain what it is that YouTube is trying to do, and some people are laying fears, and some people spurging out, and some people that are trying to stay in the middle. I hope I did a pretty good coverage of it yesterday. I'm still going to be looking for information, and if any more information comes out on it, I'll probably either tweet it out or add it to an update for the news. And speaking of news, those of you that use gab.ai or those of you that do not, there is something around the corner. Apparently, they have been keeping their eyes on. My VidMe is, oh, cool. Let me go ahead and make you a mod so you can pop that link in the chat there, Jason. So today's mods, since I like to rotate these things out, is going to be Tailed, Featured, and Jason Brazil. I got an interesting email this morning from gab.ai. For those of you that don't know what gab.ai is, it is a free speech alternative to Twitter. However, the stakes. So let me open this email and show you what I mean by upping the stakes. I said, hello, Gabbers. We wanted to thank you all so much for your support during our equity crowdfunding campaign. Together, we have raised over $364,000 from Gabbers, just like you, in our first funding round. To learn more about investing in Gab, there's there. Now, here is the really exciting stuff, right? What's new on Gab? Gab TV, our live streaming audio and video service, is now live. How do I go live? Gab Pro subscribers, and I'll probably wind up tweeting out how much a Pro membership is. Apps like OBS Broadcaster, Larix, and others to go live on Gab TV in front of the Gab community. Streamers can choose to broadcast both a live or pre-recorded video audio stream. To learn more about going live on Gab TV, check out this helpful blog post for getting started. So it looks like they're jumping the gun before VidMe on any kind of live broadcasting or live streams. Very, very soon we will be launching our tipping system for Gab TV, which will allow creators to accept tips from their audience and audience members a chance to reward their favorite creators. So to me, it looks like they're a little more on the ball with this than VidMe and Minds. Even though VidMe and Minds offer monetization, I think Gab is going to have a better deal depending on how much their Gab Pro costs. So I will be looking in on that. That's going to work. So there's a little bit of news there on the horizon from one of the alternative social media sites. All right, so our first news of the day is going to be our quick news. Surge in coal mine deaths sparks federal interest. The U.S. Mine Safety and Health Administration responding to a drastic jump in mine deaths in 2017 when compared to 2016. The miners' union says the agency isn't taking the right approach. You know what? I forgot to say good morning, everybody. Sounds like Gab TV is basically Periscope, unless they have VOD too. I don't know. They haven't gone into detail. I'm going to have to dig into there. I'm going to have to dig into it. So before I repeat the beginning of the news, let me say good morning to Wolf Girl, Neil, Rhetorical Entertainment, Tailed Feature, who's joining us this morning, Fuckwad or Russell, as some know him as, Mr. Mad Panda, Tailed Feature, unless I said him already. Yeah, I said him, so he got mentioned twice again. Boy, he's lucky. And Jason Braziel, who are all in the live chat, and Thraxy, my lovable guard dragon of the internet and live chats everywhere. So now that I have said good morning about, oh, and Mariel, there's Mariel. Good morning, Mariel. So now I'm going to go ahead and start this over, since, you know, I was really rude and didn't say good morning before I started my news. Surge in coal mine deaths sparks Fed interest. The U.S. Mine Safety and Health Administration is responding to a drastic jump in mine deaths in 2017 when compared to 2016. The miners' union says the agency isn't taking the right approach to making any meaningful and lasting solutions to the problems. Federal safety officials say the fatalities are due to miners' unfamiliarity with the mine in which they are working. The United Mine Workers of America notes the federal inspectors conducting training visits are kept from punishing the mine if any violations have been spotted. Barring this action takes the only power the inspector has to prevent possible future incidents. A possible future incident. There have been 10 coal mining deaths this year in West Virginia, Kentucky, Alabama, Montana, and Pennsylvania collectively. Statistics show since October 2015, miners with less than 1 year experience had 903 injuries. You know, different miners, of course, because if you suffer 903 injuries in less than a year, your butt is dead. People who have worked in mines from 1 to 2 years had 413 injuries reported. So there we go for the coal mine stuff. I guess I'm going to have to keep an eye on that and keep doing updates on that one. Venezuelan president refutes voter tampering allegations. Who didn't see this one coming, right? Venezuela's president is dismissing all accusations of tampering with the vote and instead is shifting the blame to an international software firm. He is accusing the firm of bowing to U.S. pressure and trying to cast doubt over an even more stringent socialist state. President Maduro doubled down an 8 million voter turnout and went on to say another 2 million would have come out if it had not been for the anti-government protesters. Maduro is trying to solidify the socialist state Hugo Chavez for his death. It is this system of government that has caused the economy to surge into inflation, have food shortages, and a rise in crime. Inspectors need the power to shut the mine down if it's... Yeah, they do. They need the power to shut the mine down if it's dangerous, Jason. I completely agree. If you want to avoid injuries and deaths, you have to get to the root of the problem, and maybe that problem may be training miners a little bit better. Neil, the voting resorts will find the voting machine company is lying. Yeah, exactly. Of course. What do you expect from a socialist dictator who's following in the footsteps of Chavez? What do you expect? Hugo Chavez was no saint. He's the one that started the downfall of the Venezuelan government to begin with and started all of his, all of the citizens of Venezuela to start having food shortages, and started being hungry and stuff like that. Facebook cracks down on fake news. Facebook will start using more advanced and updated machine learning, didn't we hear that yesterday, to find out possible hoaxes, sending them to fact checkers. This comes after the platform has come under fire for being a perpetrator of fake news. A test of the new fact-checking software was being implemented in the U.S., France, Netherlands, and Germany. And we all know this is in response to Merkel's threat to try and pass through the EU a $56 million fine in cases of wrong speech, wrong thought, and all that stuff. So we're going to keep an eye on that, even though I don't use Facebook as often as I used to. Good morning, Olenska. How are you doing this morning? Neil, machine learning itself is fine, but the issue is what the machine is trained with. And we all know what it's trained with. Yes, the old garbage in, garbage out. And people in human error and people not being able to be objective. So that is our quick news for the morning. Next one up. I'm going to move this over. Iran. Now remember, the sanctions that I spoke about a couple of days ago covered Iran. And Iran doesn't seem to give a crap. Iran's top leader pledges to continue a missile program. This is out of Tehran, Iran. Iran's supreme leader on Thursday slammed the new U.S. sanctions on Tehran signed by President Donald Trump the previous day and vowed his country would continue its missile program despite international pressure. Who isn't surprised, right? Yes, Sir Zophiel, and good morning, Sir Zophiel. Facebook is more cancerous than feminism, and they're getting worse by the day. Worse by the day. Let me see. Yep, I am doing pretty good. I woke up this morning with a little bit of a cough, Olenska, but it cleared up enough for me to be able to do my broadcast this morning. Let me see. And vowed this country will continue its missile program despite international pressure. Washington will use any excuse to make a fuss against Iran, said Ayatollah Ali Khomeini, speaking at a ceremony marking the formal endorsement of President Hassan Rouhani for his second term in office. You launch a satellite carrying a missile, they make noise. I'm sorry, but that's the accent I heard it in, even though I know that's not an Iranian accent by any means. Describing the Iranian launch as a scientific and technical job that is routine and necessary. Also imposed new sanctions on Russia and North Korea. According to a letter sent to the UN Security Council and obtained Wednesday by the Associated Press, the United States and 3 Western allies called Iran's recent launch of a satellite-carrying rocket, quote, a threatening and provocative step that is inconsistent with a UN resolution endorsing the 2015 nuclear deal with world powers. Yeah, at least I don't have gastro. There's always, yes. What's Facebook? Yeah, it's going because of all those regulations. Let me see. Iran last week launched the country's most advanced satellite-carrying rocket into space, marking the most significant step forward for the Islamic State's young space program. Iran maintains a 2015 nuclear deal that put caps on its uranium enrichment program, a possible pathway to nuclear weapons, and the Security Council resolution endorsing that deal do not ban the country from ballistic missile activity. Well, I guess as long as it's not nuclear, I don't know. I love how they get around this stuff. Russia is one of the 5 world powers that brokered the nuclear deal, has agreed with Tehran. That's not surprising. On Tuesday, Iran's parliament speaker Ali Larijani announced that Tehran has officially complained to the UN Security Council over the latest U.S. sanctions. Khomeini, who has final say on all state matters, said Iran should continue to stand powerful in the face of its enemies. It complained. I would like to imagine what that complaint would have been like. Because, they're bitching about everything, but they don't realize that, the rest of the world sees them as a threat, no matter how small a country they are compared to other countries. Let me see. Transition from the most difficult sanctions was achieved through a combination of the power of diplomacy and deterrent defensive power, said Rouhani. He said that in his term in office, Iran will insist on constructive engagement with the world more than before. Earlier Thursday, the state TV website quoted Deputy Foreign Minister and Senior Nuclear Negotiator Abbas Araghchi, God, if I mispronounced that one, oh well, as saying that Iran will come up with a smart reaction to the last U.S. sanctions. Smart reaction, huh? Smart. Okay. The U.S. legislation imposes mandatory penalties on people involved in Iran's ballistic missile program and anyone who does business with them. It would also apply terrorism sanctions to Iran's prestigious Revolutionary Guard and enforce an arms embargo. Okay, so we have this. Good morning, Fenrir. Thanks for joining us this morning. So we have this problem over here in Iran. Yeah, we can't. I thought that the deal that Obama made with Iran was one of the worst deals possible. I mean, I think everybody can agree with me in the chat when I say Iran does not like us. It doesn't matter who's in power. That country doesn't like us at all. They don't like anything that isn't of an Islamic state in nature. Yep. Well, I don't know about that, but I mean, we'll see how the sanctions go. Sanctions sometimes work, sometimes don't. Rhetorical entertainment. I think he actually wanted Iran to have nukes. Yeah, I think so too. That's the impression that he gave me with the deal. That is really the impression he gave me with the deal. Iran was great in the 70s, says Sir Zophiel. Yeah, it was a lot better than it is now. Yeah, you want to kill us all? Here, let us help you. And Obama did. Obama did. He most certainly did. Let's see. Here we go. Here's more local news from the U.S. Any of you remember the girl that got in trouble? Boyfriend while he was contemplating suicide by carbon monoxide poisoning. Woman to be sentenced in teen texting suicide case. Taunton, Massachusetts. A Massachusetts woman who encouraged her boyfriend to kill himself in dozens of text messages and told him to get back in a truck filled with toxic gas faces up to 20 years in prison when a judge sentenced her on a charge of involuntary manslaughter. Michelle Carter was convicted in June by a judge who said her final instruction to Conrad Roy III caused his death. Juvenile court judge Lawrence Moniz will sentence Carter Thursday. Carter was 17 when the 18-year-old Roy was found dead of carbon monoxide poisoning July 2014. In dozens of text messages, Carter urged Roy to follow through on his talk of taking his own life. The time is right and you are ready. Just do it, babe, Carter wrote in a text the day he killed himself. Carter's lawyer, Joseph Cataldo, argued that Roy was determined to kill himself and nothing Carter did could change that. He said Carter initially tried to talk Roy out of it and urged him to get professional help, but eventually went along with his plan. Cataldo also argued that Carter's words amounted to free speech protected by the First Amendment. We're going to discuss that when I'm done reading this. The judge said those words constituted wanton and reckless conduct under the manslaughter statute. Carter and Roy met in Florida in 2012 while both were on vacation with their families. After that, they only met in person a handful of times. The relationship consisted mainly of texting. Roy's aunt had asked the judge to sentence Carter to the 20-year maximum. Carter's father said his daughter made a tragic mistake and is asking for probation and continued counseling. Carter was tried as a youthful offender, so the judge has several options for sentencing. He can commit her to a Department of Youth Services facility until she turns 21 on August 11th. He could also combine a DYS commitment with an adult sentence or give her an adult sentence of anything from probation to the maximum 20-year term. I think, yeah, just her final instruction. She pushed the entire thing step by step. Yeah, she did. She did, Neil. I completely freaking agree. The First Amendment, if I am correct in my First Amendment interpretation, doesn't cover this because she was basically telling him to kill himself. She was coercing him, which I think does not, is not covered under the First Amendment because it falls along the lines of yelling fire in a theater. This guy was already mentally distraught. He was already depressed enough to contemplate suicide, and here was this girl pushing him over the edge. Now, some people would argue, well, he didn't have to read the text. And if it was many months ago, I would have said the same thing. Because with all the text-related car crashes and car crash fatalities, it's always that last text. It's always that, it's always that last message they had to check that pushed them over the edge, that made them get into that car accident. But this is a completely different instance. This is someone who was texting someone in a relationship, a texting relationship, that was outwardly wanting to kill himself. And she was egging it on through her texts. Jason, I agree. She didn't have to send the text. She didn't have to send the texts. Just like he didn't have to read them, she didn't have to send them. What I want to know is where her mind was. Good morning, Aposmatic. Where her mind was when she was sending these texts. Because how many of you have been texting someone, tried to say something jokingly in the text, forgot to send an emoji, and it got taken all the wrong way? Because to me, you can't really, even with emojis sometimes, it's a little iffy, convey your feelings through something that's typed. She was probably extremely angry and vindictive. Good morning, Hunley. How are you doing? Good morning, Liz. Sorry. Let me see. Something similar to "Did you do it yet?" being a common text she sent a lot, followed by a prompting to do it. Let me see. Let me read some of the unhighlighted stuff to see what else she put on there. You can't think about it. You just have to do it. You said you were going to do it. Like, I don't get why you aren't, was another text that she sent. How can that be construed as anything else? The judge focused his ruling on Carter telling Roy to get back in after he climbed out of his truck that was filling with the carbon monoxide, and after he, told her that he was afraid. So yeah, struggling with depression. There we go. With depression, and here she is egging him on. This digital age is both a blessing and a curse, in my opinion. It's a blessing in that people that are many miles away, hundreds to thousands of miles away, can communicate in a blink of an eye. It's a curse in that it has opened up a gray area of what constitutes coercion, especially in a case of suicide. I side with the judge. I believe that she should get the 20-year sentence. Yeah. The get back in is basically the unequivocal text they can't explain away with gymnastics. Exactly. It is. It's a dangerous precedent. It's a dangerous precedent. I remember it was last year or the year before, somebody took a girl to court saying that she was the reason her boyfriend died in a car accident because she sent him the text that made him lose his attention on the road, therefore causing the accident. Yeah, according to the article, she said get back in after he had left the truck and was having doubts about killing himself. Yes, threats. And this is all on text, which means it's admissible evidence. Hunley, pardon my French, but she seems to be a horrible woman's front bottom. Yes. I agree. I completely agree with that assessment. Okay, the fourth story today. Brazil's Temer wins enough votes to block corruption charge. It's a short story, so I decided just to go ahead and read the whole thing. Brazil's president, Michel Temer, arrives to a ceremony at the in Brasilia, Brazil, July 27th, 2016. In Brasilia routers. Brazilian President Michel Temer won enough votes in the lower house of Congress on Wednesday to block a corruption charge against him for illegally taking bribes that could have led to his trial by the Supreme Court. In the Wednesday night vote, 488 deputies were present, and Temer won enough ballots to keep the opposition from gaining the 2/3 ballots required to move the corruption case forward to the Supreme Court, saving him from a possible suspension from office pending 180-day trial. So we've got this going on that I'm going to keep my eye on. So he won enough votes to block the corruption charge. I am going to look a little further in to see what sort of corruption charge they were talking about and probably wind up tweeting that out later. So we do have that little blurb of a story going on as well. Our recommendations or our shout outs today are a little bit different. The first two, I did a little digging and I want to start doing this on a routine basis on Wednesday. I want to go back in a creator channel's timeline to find older videos from when before they improved their production quality. And I happened to find one. Let me see. Liz submitted this one. Yeah. Liz from Agent of Doubt. Yeah, I'm taking a long time to freaking bear with me. Agent of Doubt, a 41-second shit posting clip of Occupy Sesame Street. Dated October 9th, 2011, so this is a way older video. But I think it's worth a view because I watched it this morning and I couldn't freaking stop laughing. This was very, very well done. So you guys go check that out. All right, the next one on the list. Before Andy started yelling, for the backdrop and Chris Warski, there was Andy. And me clicking the wrong link. So there's your blooper for the morning. Oh, man. Nope. I put the wrong link in my description. Haha, I gotta fix that. All right. Later on today, there will be a link to an Ask Andy Warski video. Where he actually responds to dumb tweets. Yes, before he started raising for a camera and doing ridiculous shit, and before he met Chris Warski, he actually responded to dumb tweets. And I will update the description with that one. The next one. He's been doing a lot of live streams lately and not so much pre-recorded content. This is Brother Bear. And yes, there is a joke behind the titles of his live streams, which are Spoon a Duck casts. If I remember correctly, he had a whole row on Twitter and on other live streams where they were talking about ducks and who liked ducks and who favorited ducks. And so he just decided to title his live streams Spoon a Duck casts. He also does response videos from time to time when he's not live streaming. So y'all go check out Brother Bear. But not least, she's adorable, she's funny, she's witty. She calls herself a self-made stream whore, and she does make commentary and live streams on her own channel. I'm talking about Buttercup. Here, there, and everywhere on live streams, hither and yon. You can also find her tweeting on Twitter with her jokes and so on and so forth. However, she received a strike on a live stream where she purportedly showed a little too much boobage or cleavage, whichever one happened. I wasn't there to witness it. So there is Miss Buttercup. Y'all go check her out. She also does, response and commentary videos, so she's doing all that too. So there we go. And last little segment today, I went to Pinterest, not to find, I was looking for funny pins to see if I could just scroll down and pin, but what I found, a lot more golden. I'm not going to go through all 76 pictures because it's going to take way too long. I'm just going to go through a couple of pages, hoping my computer agrees with me and doesn't tell me to go screw myself. So here we go. Funny pictures of the day, 76 pictures, and we're not going to go through all 76. This bathroom is designed to make you just pee in your pants as soon as you walk in. I'm scrolling slowly so you can see that 3D painting or that glass on the floor. Yeah, that's a bathroom I would not use. Slick, me, texting boss. We still on for work today? Boss, yes, you don't have to text me this every morning. We're on for work every day, Monday through Friday. I don't know what it is about the live chat, but it's buffering for me also. I read an article from MSN. Okay, I'll look at that. All right, here we go. I'm sorry that it's buffering. It's probably my freaking combination of my connection and everything else. Wine, the WD-40 of parenting. Lots of parents in the live chat that can agree to that. If it takes 12 minutes to get the straw into the Capri Sun, this should give you some indication as to what they are like in bed. Back away slowly, then run fast. Run far. My face when someone asks me when I'm going to have another baby. I think I've made that face a couple of times. It's a cool bathroom, Thrax. Want to know the difference between a man and a margarita? A margarita hits the spot every time. Ooh. Okay. Oh, Walmart, don't ever change. That awkward moment when you're on top of a girl and her parents walk in. I'll leave that there for a couple of seconds. I'm guessing he's looking for the break section. All right, let's see here. And here we go. We don't want him to be entirely sober. You know how these people are. When in the history of pizza eating has anyone ever picked up a pizza like that? I'll let that sink in before I continue. Single guy in a relationship, dog owner. Oh my God. No truer picture has ever been posted on the internet. Oh my goodness. I have to agree with that one 100%. My wife knows I have a heart condition, but she still thought it would be funny to take this to my mirror. My heart survived, my underwear did not. First time parent. 2 more kids later, you're like. And last but not least, to be honest, my first thought was, please God, don't let that be from her diaper. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Oh, the chocolate syrup. Oh my gosh. Oh, Lord. Funnies for the day. If you are looking for any other live streams, the one that I know is scheduled for this evening at 5 p.m. Central Standard Time, Graveyard Shift, hosted by Red Fox. Go check that out. The link is in the description. Yes. You know, me too. I mean, absolutely. Kids can be the funniest things and the most frustrating things on the face of the planet. A reason to never spawn. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I have to sometimes on my stream tonight, if you'd like an invite. Okay, it depends on what I'm doing. I'm sure to have all my writing stuff done by then. But yeah, I would like to pop in on you. Send me an invite, Tailed. I did it with chocolate. I did it with Play-Doh. I did it with Play-Doh in a carpet. My parents weren't too appreciative. If you guys remember Play-Doh, yes, I did it with Play-Doh in the carpet. And my mom also said, while we were still living in Miami before I reached the ripe old age of 4, for those of you that lived back in the 70s, those beaded curtains that hung down in doorways, my mom said when I was a toddler, I tried to play Tarzan. I also tried to make breakfast by breaking 3 eggs on the kitchen floor. So I did it more than once in my childhood. So I wasn't quite as well behaved, apparently. Of course, you know, I guess when you're 2 and you see, you know, beaded curtains, it's time to be a little adventurous, I suppose, right? So, friends, if you wish to join me for the coffee club this morning and you don't have the Discord link, you can DM me. I will have my Twitter DMs and I will have Discord open within a couple of minutes after I end this stream. Good morning, Butterfly Kitten. Yeah, I know, we're getting ready to end. So, on that note, my friends, may your coffee ever flow, may your caffeine be ever strong, and may you have a thoroughly fantastic. See you guys later.